I used to tell women to just try a new haircut, like that solved anything. It doesn't. Not if it's the wrong cut for what's actually happening to your face after 60. Today I'm covering 6 haircuts, 3 that genuinely take years off you, and 3 that quietly add them, even when they look chic on the mannequin photo taped to the salon mirror. The difference between the two groups isn't trendy versus outdated. It's whether the cut works with where your face has actually moved, or against it. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 60, so you get real results, fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The long blunt cut that's quietly aging you. Here's the part nobody explains at the salon. Length itself isn't the problem after 60. Weight distribution is. A long, blunt, one-length cut past the shoulders pulls all of your hair's weight at the bottom. And weight at the bottom does something specific to a mature face. It pulls everything downward with it. Your eyes, your cheeks, the corners of your mouth. All of it reads heavier because the frame around your face is heavy. You've probably kept this length because it feels safe, familiar, easy to pull back. I get it. But safe isn't the same as flattering. And this is usually the first cut a good stylist will quietly want to change. The recognition moment is simple. If you look tired in photos even on days you feel great, this is very often why. It's not your face. It's the weight sitting at the bottom of it, dragging the whole picture down. The fix is a long layered shag, cut with movement starting at cheekbone level and building through the ends. Tell your stylist exactly this. I want long layers starting at my cheekbones, with the ends point cut for texture, not blunt. That phrasing matters. Point cutting removes the heavy, straight across edge that reads as weight, and starting the layers at the cheekbone is what lifts the whole lower half of your face visually. This isn't a small trim. It's a structural change to where the hair's mass sits. Here's what happens when this is done right. The eye stops reading a solid block of hair and starts reading movement, texture, and lift around your bone structure instead. Cheekbones that were getting swallowed by heavy length suddenly have room to show. Your jawline softens instead of getting boxed in. This is the snapback moment worth sitting with. A well-placed layer doesn't just change your hair. It changes where a stranger's eye lands first on your face, and it lands higher, not lower. Maintenance is straightforward but non-negotiable. Get these layers refreshed every 8 to 10 weeks, because layers grow out faster than blunt cuts and lose their lift right around week 12. Ask your stylist to check the movement zone. The cheekbone level layers. At every visit, even if you're not getting a full cut. The swap, named plainly. Heavy one-length hair past the shoulders becomes long layers built from the cheekbone down. Cut with texture instead of a blunt edge. Same length if you want to keep it. Completely different effect on your face. Now before we get to the second cut on the avoid list, I want to tell you about a mistake that's almost the exact opposite problem. And it's one I see even more often in women who think they've already fixed everything. Part 2, the severe pixie avoid, and the soft layered pixie younger. Most stylists won't tell you this, but a pixie cut can add years just as easily as it can remove them, and the difference usually comes down to one thing. How close the cut sits to your skull at the temples and crown. A severe, tight pixie, the kind buzzed close on the sides with very little length left anywhere, removes softness exactly where a mature face needs it most. Skin changes texture and elasticity over time, and hair that sits close to the scalp doesn't hide any of that. It exposes it. You end up with a cut that reads as harsh rather than sharp, and there's a real difference between the two. If you've ever left the salon with a short cut feeling like it aged you rather than freshened you, this is almost always the reason. Not the shortness. The severity. The fix is a soft layered pixie with longer pieces left on top and through the crown. Styled with texture rather than slicked down. Tell your stylist. Keep more length on top and through the crown, and cut the sides with a soft taper, not a hard line. That soft taper is the key phrase. It avoids the harsh buzzed edge while still keeping the cut short and easy. The longer top pieces give you something to style forward, to the side, or textured upward, which adds the softness a close crop takes away. Here's the result that actually matters. Softness around the hairline reads as approachable and current, while severity reads as stark. This one adjustment changes whether people register your haircut first or your face first. And you want your face first, always. That's the whole point of a great shortcut. The swap. A severe, close-cropped pixie becomes a soft layered pixie with length preserved on top. Same short commitment, completely different feeling on your face. Now let's talk about a cut that gets treated as universally youthful, when it's actually one of the most face-dependent haircuts out there. And getting it wrong is a very specific kind of mistake. The long bob, or lob, gets recommended to almost every woman over 60 as a safe middle ground between short and long. But there's a version of the lob that ages you just as fast as the wrong long cut does. The blunt chin-length lob with no layering and no face-framing pieces. Cut straight across at the jaw with no movement. It does something unexpected. It draws a hard horizontal line exactly at the widest, most visible part of your jaw and lower face. Stylists call this the helmet effect, and once you notice it in photos, you can't unsee it. It's not that chin length is wrong for you. It's that straight across chin length is a very specific, very unflattering choice. The fix is the same lob length, but cut with a slight angle, longer in the front, shorter in the back, with soft face-framing layers left loose around the cheeks. Say this exactly. Keep the length at my chin, but angle it longer toward the front, and add soft layers around my face. That front-to-back angle breaks up the horizontal line completely, and the face-framing layers do the same lifting work we talked about earlier, just on a shorter scale. Maintenance-wise, ask for a check-in every 6 weeks. The angled line grows out faster than a blunt one, and needs more frequent shaping to keep the front longer effect intact. The swap. A blunt, straight-across chin-length bob becomes an angled lob with face-framing layers. I promise you, the difference in photos is not subtle. There's one more cut left on each list, and the younger one coming up next might be the single most requested change I get asked about, because almost nobody explains how to actually ask for it correctly. Part 3, the overprocessed youthful color avoid. Here's a mistake that has nothing to do with the cut itself and everything to do with what most women assume will make them look younger. Going lighter, blonder, and brighter than their natural coloring ever was, thinking more contrast against aging skin equals more youth. It's actually the opposite. Skin tone warms and softens with age, and hair color that's too light, too cool, or too high contrast against that skin doesn't brighten your face. It washes it out and makes the skin underneath look duller by comparison. If you've ever gone lighter expecting to look fresher, and instead felt like something was off in the mirror, but couldn't name what, this is very likely it. The color didn't fail because it wasn't bright enough. It failed because it wasn't warm enough for your skin. The fix is a technique called money piece face framing combined with a base color 1 to 2 shades warmer than your instinct tells you to go. Say this to your stylist. I want warm face framing highlights, but keep my base color warmer than usual, more caramel or honey undertones, not ash or platinum. Ash and platinum tones are what create that washed out contrast. Caramel and honey undertones work with your skin's natural warmth instead of fighting it. The face framing pieces specifically brighten the areas closest to your eyes and cheekbones, which is where brightness actually helps. This is the part worth sitting with. Warmth near your face doesn't just change your hair color. It changes how healthy and rested your skin looks, because warm tones reflect a flattering light back onto your complexion instead of competing with it. Women tell me constantly that people start asking if they've done something different with their skin, and the honest answer is they didn't touch their skin at all. They touch their hair color correctly. Maintenance is simpler than most color work. Warm-toned highlights need refreshing every 10 to 12 weeks, and unlike cool blondes, you won't need a purple toning shampoo fighting brassiness, because warmth is the goal here, not the enemy. The swap. High-contrast platinum or ash blonde color becomes warm, face-framing caramel and honey tones. Same commitment to going lighter, completely different result on your actual skin. I'll admit something before we move into the final part. This next fix is the one I get asked to repeat the most in comments, because it sounds almost too simple to actually work this well. Part 4. The curtain bang that takes years off. I saved this one for last because it's the single fastest change on this entire list, and almost nobody over 60 tries it because they assume bangs mean high maintenance and constant trims. A soft curtain bang, parted in the center and swept to both sides, blended into the rest of your layers rather than cut as a separate blunt piece, does something remarkable to a mature face. It softens your forehead line, draws attention toward your eyes, and breaks up the vertical length of your face all at once. without you changing your color or your length underneath at all. If you've been told bangs are too much upkeep for your lifestyle, that's true of a blunt, straight-across fringe. It is not true of a curtain bang, and that distinction is exactly why this fix works for so many women who wrote off bangs years ago. Here's exactly what to ask for. I want a curtain bang, parted in the center, long enough to tuck behind my ears when I want it out of my face, and blended into my layers, not cut as a separate piece. That blending is what makes it low maintenance, because it grows out into your existing layers instead of needing its own dedicated trim schedule. The center part, and the sweep to both sides, is what softens the forehead and frames the eyes. This is the snapback moment I want you to really hear. A curtain bang draws the eye immediately to the upper third of your face. Your eyes, your brow, your temples. And that's the area that reads youngest on almost anyone. It's a redirect. You're not erasing anything about your face. You're just choosing where the first glance lands, and it lands somewhere flattering instead of somewhere tired. Maintenance is genuinely easy. A light trim every 4 to 6 weeks just to keep the length in that tuck behind the ear range. Done at the same time as your regular haircut. No extra salon trip required. The swap, stated plainly, a bare forehead with no bangs becomes a soft, center-parted curtain bang blended into your existing layers. It's the smallest cut on this list and arguably the fastest acting. That's all 6. 3 cuts quietly aging you, 3 that genuinely don't. The difference was never about being bold or being safe. It was about which one actually works with your face as it is right now. Now you know exactly which cuts pull years onto your face and which ones lift them right off. The weight of your length, the severity of a pixie, the harshness of a blunt bob line, the coolness of your color, and the softness a simple curtain bang can bring back. That's real, specific knowledge most women never get handed this clearly. Tell me in the comments which one of these 6 surprised you the most. Was it the color mistake, or the curtain bang? Next week I'm breaking down the exact questions to ask before any color appointment, so you never leave the chair disappointed again. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.